Okay, hi. As you can probably tell from the title of this video, I have some opinions on books that I've read that did not meet my expectations. So, although the title is probably something like books I thought I'd love but didn't, these are just going to be books that disappointed me. I have a stack of books in front of me. We're going to go through them, we're going to talk about them, and I'm going to say why they didn't meet my expectations, basically. Yeah, that's all. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so first, we have Wayward by Amelia Hart. I was really excited about this book when I bought it. Like, I thought it was going to be really good. It's about witches. It's like a family of witches in 3 different timelines. And I was like, oh, sign me up. That sounds so cool. One of them was in 2019, another one was in 1619, and the other one was in 1942. So I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. We're going to have like some witch trial era, some World War II era, and some like more modern era. They barely did any magic in this book, and that was really sad to me because I thought they were going to do magic a ton. Keep hitting that. I thought they were going to do a ton of magic, and then they didn't, and I was really sad. Also, there's rape and there's incest, and that makes me uncomfortable, and so I do not like that about this book. But other than that, it was a pretty good book. I had higher expectations for it because I was really hoping there was going to be a lot of cool magic, and there was like no magic. So that's the first one. Really disappointed. Now, this one was a childhood favorite because I remember checking this out of the library, loving the first sentence, and wanting to read it, and then obviously reading the book, loving it, getting my best friend to read it, and then I wanted to reread it like a year or two ago. It was really awkward. It wasn't awkward, it was just, it didn't live up to what I remembered it being, but I also only really remembered the first line of the book and not much else. So reading it, I was kind of disappointed. But anyways, that book is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, and I know a lot of people love this book, and I remember loving it as a child. But reading it as an adult, like, I don't know, it was just okay. This will still always be my favorite opening to a book ever. It says chapter 1, How Nobody Came to the Graveyard. There was a hand in the darkness and it held a knife. And it's just like, I love that. It's a great first page for me as someone who likes that kind of vibe. Great first page for me. Showed that to my best friend when I was reading it. She was also like, ooh, I want to read that now. I like that every so often there's pictures every so often. Not a ton, but like, pictures. But rereading it, the story was like super convoluted. Not convoluted, that's not the right word. Confusing. I don't know. It was just confusing. It was confusing. The chapters, I didn't really feel like they made sense or lined up or like made a cohesive story. It kind of felt like each chapter almost was like its own little short story with just this character in all of them, which doesn't really make any sense. I know. But like, I don't remember what like overarching themes of the chapters were. Oh, and then also this far into the book is chapter 7. If I remember correctly, this chapter is, give me a second. Yeah, this chapter is like 80 something pages. For one chapter, that's ridiculous. Because I'm the kind of person that when I read books, I like stopping at the end of a chapter if I can. So not just stopping in the middle of a chapter or in the middle of a paragraph's even worse for me. So I was like, okay, I need to read the next chapter. Oh my god, that next chapter is so long. because I don't always get to read long enough to read 80 pages in one sitting because I'm in college, so I have other stuff I have to do. I have, like, obviously I have laundry and food to make, but I also have, like, tests and homework and everything. So I was like, that's a ridiculously long chapter. And so I had to keep stopping in the middle of this chapter because it was super long. But it did not meet my childhood remembrances, expectations. And I'm really sad about that because I remember loving this book and being like, oh, it's so good, you should read it. And after I reread it, it was just kind of okay, which makes me really sad. I still love the opening to the book. I think I always will, honestly. Like, it's just so good. But yeah, I was really disappointed. Maybe one day I'll reread it again and I'll read it faster than I reread it this past time. And it'll meet my expectations and it'll be good again. I don't know. But I'm really sad that I didn't enjoy this the second time around. Or at least didn't enjoy it as much the second time around. Okay, and then the next book. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember this book very much anymore, which is sad. One moment. Let me just reread the back. Okay, yes, I remember now. So this book is called We Are All the Same in the Dark. Oh, you can't do that. We Are All the Same in the Dark by Julia Haberlin. I don't know. But basically it's about this. So this girl disappeared like a decade ago in this town, and then people thought that her brother was the one that killed her, but he's been proven innocent. And then also her brother finds a girl like in a field of dandelions and thinks that she's a sign, and so he like takes her and like tries to help her get back to health or whatever. And then there's also this cop who was best friends with the girl that's missing from 10 years ago. Um, and she's also helping the girl that they found in the field of dandelions, all this stuff. Yeah, okay. And so they're thinking, like, oh, this new girl and the old girl that has been missing for a decade, they're connected somehow. I don't remember if they're actually connected or not. I do remember that the twist at the end really bothered me. Like, not the twist, but like the person that took True, the girl that's been missing for a decade, the person that took her and maybe killed her. I don't remember if she's dead or not. The person that did that was like not who I was expecting, and that's usually fine in a mystery thriller for me to not know or guess the ending before it happens. Obviously, that's the point of a mystery thriller, right? But I seem to remember there being like no like no like motive. That's the word. There's like no real motive for why he did it, why the person did it, and so I'm just like, okay, um, yeah, I don't know. It was a little disappointing. It sounded really interesting. Like the girl that they found in the field of dandelions, she was mute and she had one eye, and I was like, what's that about, right? That drew me in. But yeah, I don't know. I just remember it being like, okay, not what I was expecting, not what I was. I don't remember what my expectations were for this book. I read this freshman year of college, and I'm now a senior, so graduating in May. Um, sorry. I don't really remember what happened in this book. I remember who the culprit is. I don't exactly remember why, and I don't remember exactly what he did. But I do remember being disappointed because I have a habit of being drawn in by covers like, oh, that's a pretty cover. Wayward also has a really pretty cover, and it also helped draw me in. That and the witches sounded cool, and then it was just kind of yeah. I just know I remember this one disappointing me. Anyways, moving on. So the next book is Lies Like Poison by Chelsea Pitcher. I don't remember how this one ended either. Okay, I know that. It's like these three friends, Poppy, Lily, and Belladonna, which are all poisonous flowers if you ingest them. They have this plan to protect their best friend Raven. So when, or no, it says they would do anything to protect their best friend. So when they discovered he was suffering abuse at the hands of his stepmother, they came up with a lethal plan, petals of Poppy, Belladonna, and Lily in her evening tea, so she'd never be able to hurt him again, right? But then someone got cold feet, so they didn't do it. And then 3 years later, Raven's stepmom dies, but only Belladonna is found in her tea, so Belladonna gets carted away to jail, right? So this starts with Belladonna being in jail for the murder of Raven's mom, because they like, I don't remember why they were like, oh yeah, it was the children that did it. I'm pretty sure they'd like written out their plan and someone found it maybe, and that's why they thought it was, they were immediately like, oh, it's her, the child, but whatever. But I don't know, I just remember it was kind of hard for me to get through, and I have a problem of I'm really bad at if I'm not enjoying a book, I'm still gonna finish it, which I know I shouldn't. I probably shouldn't do. I could just DNF it and like give it away or whatever. But when I'm not enjoying a book, and there are times when I won't finish a book when I'm actively reading it the first time because I know that I'm not in the mood for it, and I know that I'll enjoy it a lot more later. Other times, like with books like this, when I'm not really enjoying it and I don't really think I'll be in the mood for it again, I try to make myself finish the book. And by try, I mean I always make myself finish the book, even if it takes me longer. Because what if the book gets good? I don't know. And I know that's probably dumb, but like, what if it gets better? And I missed it, and I missed out on this really good book because I wasn't vibing with it at first. So that's what I do when I read. I don't remember anything about this book anymore. I just remember being disappointed because it sounded interesting, and then I was like, oh, what? And then the person that did it, I was also like, what? I don't remember. I just remember being disappointed, and I gave this 3 stars, which is not a bad rating. It was still an enjoyable book, but I remember I had higher hopes for it than it turned out to be for me. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm asking you. You can't answer me. Whatever. Yeah. Moving on. I don't know. I don't know. And then we also have The Soulmate by Sally Hepworth. This one is about, again, I got drawn in by the cover. It looked cool and like a summery mystery thriller. The problem is a lot of these are mystery thrillers that have disappointed me, which is devastating because I love mystery thrillers. But these ones, I just don't think they were written as well as some others have been. I don't know. This is not, I don't know. Anyways, this book, The Soulmate, I will say I read this when I was studying abroad in Vienna over the summer. So I was busy for a whole month taking German classes and going to all the museums that I could because a girl loves museums. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that for now. This book is about a couple who have like a dream home. Or that's not important. They're living on a cliff, right? And the cliffs have become a very popular spot for people to commit suicide. And so the husband in this couple not always, like for a while, he's been going out there and coming to their rescue and like talking them down from the edge and getting them to not kill themselves, which is great. And then one day he doesn't save the person that's out there. He like goes out there and then the person still dies, right? And so it's like when his wife finds out that he knew the victim, she's like, "What? Why did you let her die then?" And then a whole bunch of things happened. There was this like weird thing that kind of bothered me. It wasn't the before. So the chapters are in like before and now kind of. So it will be like a character and then before. So like before she died, right? And then like Pippa, it'll be like before. So it'll be before that lady died. And then now it'll be like after the after effects, right? I like when books do that. I think it's really interesting. Monday's Not Coming did that, and I'm not gonna go into that because I love that book. But I can talk about it later. It's not important. But Monday's Not Coming did that. I'm gonna talk about it anyways. And once I found out the reasoning or like the difference between the before and the after chapters, because that whole book, it's just like the chapters are just called the before, the after, the before, the before, the after, or whatever. And so I was like, what is happening? Like, what is the difference between these two types of chapters? I was doing an assignment with the book too for school, so I was like writing out my thoughts every time. But once I got to the reveal of like what those chapters were, what the before and the after chapters were, I was like, oh my god, I want to reread this book in a few years and like take note of what's happening in the before and what's happening in the after and how it affects the reveal that happens later, right? I really liked that book. It was really good. You should read it. You should definitely also read it if you are an educator or going into something to deal with that where you're dealing with children a lot. You should absolutely read Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. It is it's so good, and it's about abuse and like noticing signs of abuse and all of that terrible stuff. Anyways, I'm done with my Monday's Not Coming rant. Everyone should read it. It's devastating. I screamed, I cried. I literally at one point screamed at the top of my lungs during that book and like dropped the book because I was so upset about something that happened. Is this good praise for a book? I don't know if this makes you want to read it or not, but you should. Anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting about Monday's Not Coming now. I'll rant about it some other day, more in depth. Anyways, so this one was doing the before and the now chapters too, and or like before and after. And it was really weird because one of them is from the point of view of the lady that died. So you're getting before and after chapters of that as well. And so I was like, why are we getting after chapters of this lady? Right? I don't know. I remember it just being like strange. I don't know anymore. I read this over the summer, as I've said. I think the end, I remember. Okay, got it. So the lady that dies, you're getting before and after chapters. The lady that watched her die, so the wife that lives in the house, you're getting then and now chapters. So now is taking place after the lady's died. Then obviously is before she died. And then same thing with the before and the after. Before is before the lady died, and after is after she's died. So that was kind of interesting that the after chapters were like we were still getting her POV even after she had died. That was kind of strange, kind of interesting. But I remember the ending kind of disappointing me as well because I just like I don't know, something happens at the end, and I was just kind of like, that's how the book's gonna end? Really? And yeah, there's that. And then I have another one. Oh, I have a list somewhere. Oh, okay. I have another book that kind of disappointed me. I don't have it physically. It's my sister's book I borrowed when I was at home over Christmas break. It's called Icarus in the Sun by Cami Garcia and no, oh my gosh, no, it's not. It's called Icarus in the Sun just by Gabriel Piccolo. Sorry, I was thinking of the Teen Titans comics, which are written by Cami Garcia, illustrated by Gabriel Piccolo. This one was fully written and illustrated by Gabriel Piccolo. Okay, I was going into it thinking, oh, it's gonna be this like great book about the myth of Icarus and the sun and like all that, but it's going to be an allegory of them being in a relationship instead of Icarus just flying too close to the sun or whatever. No, it was an allegory of a relationship, but like the whole concept of the myth was an allegory of a relationship being like sometimes it was like a right person wrong time kind of allegory, and he was going to therapy at the beginning about his bad relationship and how like it ended poorly. And so I was just kind of disappointed because I was hoping that it was going to be just like cool myth, but what if they dated? What if Icarus and the sun were a couple and they dated instead of he flew too close to the sun and like whatever. It was still good. It still like it makes sense to have been written that way. I just wasn't expecting it to be written that way, and it kind of disappointed me. I don't know. Anyways, those are some of the books that I've read recently that I had high expectations for and just disappointed me a little bit because of one reason or another. Clearly, for these three, the mystery thrillers, it was because I didn't really like the ending and I didn't think that the ending made a lot of sense. That's all. This one, also partially because of the ending, but mostly because of the rape and the incest and stuff. But also the ending, I was just kind of like, that's how it ends. That's it. Anyways, those are some books that I have opinions on. Wow, that's crazy. I know. I'm making a video about my opinions on books. I'm talking about my opinions on books. Anyways, yeah, those are some books that disappointed me and that I was hoping would be better than they were. Yeah.